Today, I will show you how to make your video from looking like this to something like this. It doesn't matter if gumagamit ka ng budget-friendly camera, or you're using an iPhone or an Android. As long as your phone is capable of using manual exposure, then you are good to go. So buying an expensive camera won't fix any of these problems. That's why, what I will teach you today is on how to fix these problems by just tweaking some settings on your camera. And we will be talking about on how to light your shots to have a more interesting and professional-looking videos. Because lighting is the key that separates amateur-looking videos to professional-looking videos. So by the end of this one, you will learn about the different directions of light, how to use colors to make your images more interesting, and yung step-by-step process on how I light my videos to make my indoor shots look so much better. So, without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing we need to do when we have this plain-looking horrible image is to adjust some settings on our camera. First, we have to make sure that we lower their ISO because having a low ISO makes our camera less sensitive to light, which removes grain and noise on our shots. And remember, lowering your ISO will make your image darker, so para ma-achieve natin yung proper exposure, don't forget to set your aperture to the lowest value to balance our exposure and to have more bokeh or background separation sa ating subject. So right now, we are at ISO 200 at f2.8. It is so much better compared to settings kanina, which is a lot of grain on the image and less background separation. Next, let's talk about lighting. And let's start by showing you how the directions of light may affect the overall look of your subject. And you may be wondering why some photographers and filmmakers, specifically me, prefer to shoot only from sunrise to 9 AM and 3 PM until sunset. Kasi yung direction of light na nanggagaling sa sun affects the overall look of our videos and nung subject. Same goes kapag gumagamit tayo ng photography lights like this. Whenever we move our lights under the subject, umumukha siyang horror or parang sa mga scary movies. Now, whenever we move our lights naman directly above the subject, magkakaroon siya ng raccoon eyes, which is may shadow under the eyes na almost the same if we are shooting kapag 12 ng tanghali. And when we move our light beside our subject, magkakaroon ng impression that our subject may be angry, disappointed, lonely, or planning to do something bad. This kind of lighting is always used on Hollywood films kasi it portrays a lot of emotion since our subject is lit on the other side of the face while having a lot of shadows on the opposite side. So now let's proceed on how I personally light my YouTube videos. After kong iset yung ISO and aperture to the lowest value, I'm going to prepare my key light, my fill light, and practical lights. So basically, our main light, also known as key light, is our primary source of light which lights up the scene at no subject. So basically, it has the most power output. I'm using a nanlite FS150 with a 90cm nanlite parabolic softbox. Now let's turn the lights off and let's turn on our key light. For key lights, I usually place them 45 degrees from the side and slightly above the head of the subject. And as we rotate this knob, we can adjust the power output of the light. And remember, using a higher power output will cause some lights to spill on the background, which will also depend on what kind of look that you want. Also, aside from power output, the distance between your light and the subject will affect how harsh or soft yung light kapag tumama na sa face ng subject. The next thing we'll be talking about is fill light. For fill light naman, what I use is the nanlite Forza 60 with a nanlite 60cm softbox. And I use this one para ma-fill yung shadows and contrast from our key light. So basically, we'll be placing this one on the other side of my face. And for me, a 25 to 30% power output is enough. So here's the difference from what we had earlier. Here's the before, here's the after, here's the before, and here's the after. Now let's add some contrast to our overall image by adding some lights to our background. And I'll be using the PavoTube 15C from Nanlite. It's an RGB light with internal battery, which means we can use this wherever we like without plugging into an outlet. We can choose whatever colors we like, but I prefer using the color between blue and teal since ilalagay ko siya at my back para magkaroon ng separation between my skin tone at nung background. You can also adjust the power and saturation of this light, but I prefer to using only about 60%. So now let's put it at the back of my computer monitor. So right here. Buti na lang may lalagyan dito, sobrang sakto ng placement. All we have to do is to adjust until it hits the roller blinds. At para magkaroon ng balance ng exposure from here to here, at para ma-emphasize yung aking charging dock, I'm going to use another pavo tube and set it to a cool white balance to light up this part of my composition. And I will put it where it can't be seen on our camera. And here's without the background light, and here's with the background light. And now let's talk about practical lights. Practical lights are basically any lights that we can add on our scene. The difference between practical light and other lights is that other lights such as key light and fill light are hidden on the frame. Hindi sila nakita sa ating shot. While for practical light, we can clearly see them in the frame, which adds dimension to our scene. And for practicals, what I will be using is this lamp, an LED strip at the back of my table, another LED light na may lightning design, at yung light right here, and our favorite, the Pavo Tube 15C. One, and here's the other one. Then let's play with some colors, or let's try some color combinations that we have. First, let's try the triadic color combination, which is purple, yellow, and blue, which we also did earlier. Next, let's try the complementary colors, and for this one, let's try the most popular above all, the orange and teal colors. And for our last one, let's try the analogous color combination, which is using only one group of colors sa buong scene. So before I end this video, I would like to tell you guys that we are giving away 3 sets of Pavo Tube 6C. So basically, we will have 3 winners. And yung Pavo Tube 6C is the same lang dito, except that it is half in size. So, perfect for travel, super compact, and pwede mong dalhin and gamitin wherever you like. Yes, it is half in size, pero they both offer the same features like, for example, you want to change the color to whatever you like, something like that. And you can also adjust the saturation and the power output of this light. And if you want pure white, you can change it to CCT mode, and then you can change to either a warm white or a cool white. So if you want to win the Pavo Tube 2 6C, all you have to do is to go to my Facebook page and check for the mechanics, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. So that's it for our tutorial. I hope to see you in the next one. And for those who are joining the giveaway, good luck to you guys, stay creative, and God bless.